I just watched this series yesterday. I wanted to review it yesterday, but my camera was fucking up on my computer, and I had to sell my other one. That pissed me off so bad. But I watched the series yesterday. I'm still trying to digest it, man, because it was quite weird. And I don't know if the aspect ratio on my computer was fucked up because I watched it on something else and it looked slightly different. But it's called M3 Sono Kuroki Hagane or Hagane or something like that. I know it's M3 Sono Kuroki. The last part, I'm not sure the pronunciation. I think it's Hagane. But it's pretty much about this area called the Lightless Realm that just kind of like appeared, you know what I'm saying, like out of nowhere, and these like beings, these darkness beings called admonitions just like show up out of it. And apparently they're born from like the like anguish and stuff of humans, I'm assuming, because there are a bunch of dead humans in this realm. Or like when humans go to that place, they die. There's a bunch of dead humans there, and the admonitions are like born from the anguish and stuff that they felt from dying, I'm assuming, because in one particular part of the episode, there was one admonition that was referred to by one of the characters as a red poop, ironically enough, and this admonition was specifically looking for a locket that it had dropped on its first night in the city. So I'm assuming that they have something to do with the humans who died in the Lightless Realm. And yeah, it's a weird series, man. It's primarily shot in darkness. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing that kind of drew me into it, was when it first starts off it's dark, and throughout most of the episode it's kind of dark. Like so much so I really couldn't even see what was going on until I rewatched it on something else. I'm like, it's pretty damn dark. You know, like even the admonitions, because it was red, but I could still barely see it in the dark. Still pretty damn dark. Another interesting part about the anime was that one of the characters, I'm gonna get to the characters in a second, but one of them specifically said that they made a reference to a corpse song, and I was like, okay, that's whatever, you know. And apparently, if you hear a corpse song, you die in 9 days. They don't know exactly why or how you died, but you just died in 9 days. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That drew me into it. That kind of drew me into it. Honestly, I have to say though, this is a weird series, man. Like so far, just in episode 1, I was like, this shit is weird. Like the animation is weird. You know, the admonitions are weird. The choice of color and shadowing is weird. Like it is weird because all of the characters are drawn with like this part of their eyes are just black. Like all of this part is just real dark and black. Like it's just black. And so that kind of confused me. I was just like, why is it? Because I thought it was just the main character whose name is Akashi. I thought it was him at first. I was like, okay, maybe that's just how his eyes look. But all the characters are drawn with a super black part on the eye, and I was like, okay, that's weird. One, but two, the admonitions are done in like CGI, you know what I'm saying? But the characters are done in standard animation, so the movements of the admonition is weird because I didn't see how it moved. All I saw was that it couldn't move, and like I said, this is a weird ass series though. Like I don't even know like what made me click on it because I didn't even read it. I just kind of clicked on something and I started watching it. It was weird. So basically, right now we are at 5 characters. I'm gonna say 6. You know, I mean, it's safe to say it's gonna be 8 characters, but right now they have 5, 6 if you include the one kid who was in the end of this episode. But I'm not including him right now. I'm just gonna do the main 5, and the main character is a kid named Akashi Saganuma, and he has one of those tragic, flawed hero backgrounds. This part confused me too. Either his brother did something heroic and died, or his brother did something cowardly and that caused their mother to die, I'm assuming. Because at first I thought it was his dad. you know, because he's an older kind of guy. But I don't know, because one of the other male character, whose name is Nemoto or something like that, Iwato, yeah, his name is Iwato. He makes a reference to Akashi's brother, and I was like, okay. But when Akashi was at home talking to someone, I'm assuming is his sister, because he called her by her name. He called her by her name, but he said "san" at the end of it. So it could just be some woman. I don't know. It could just be some woman. And then he even asked her, "Why are you even here? Are you sexually frustrated?" So that's not something I would think you would say to your sister. It's something that you would just say to some random woman. It might even be his brother's like girlfriend or something. But that woman gives him a picture, and he's like, I don't have any attachment to pictures or anything like that, and he refuses to take the picture. But like after that though, I was just kind of like, what's up with this character? Because in the picture, it was like him as a child, that woman who was just talking to, I think, and a guy who looked a little bit like him but with glasses. And then he has like a little flashback into when he was a kid, and he was like, why are you still here? You know, how can you even say that type of stuff? You should be the one who's dead. And I was kind of like, what happened? That was the end of the flashback. Basically what the series boils down to was that these people are inside of these machines called vests, and like VESS, and the vests are like tasked with killing the admonitions. And there was a girl who was already a training pilot. Her name was Raika Kazumi, and she kind of looks like Senna from Bleach, the movie. Remember the Bleach movie, when that girl Senna was in it? She kind of looks like that. She even has the same weird ass hairstyle, the same kind of angry, fucked up look on her face. But she's the one who called that admonition a red poop. She seems like she's the more hot-headed out of the characters who we've seen so far. Iwato, I'm sorry, is the other male character. And in the school, he seems like he's second and always beneath Akashi, but they're friends, so it doesn't really matter. There's another girl named Mamu Yuzuki, and she is a weird girl who's constantly writing. And I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like she's the one who's narrating the story, which is weird because she does have some dialogue throughout the episode, well, at the beginning anyway, where she's writing stuff down in a little pad. They're talking about the corpse song and talking about the admonition and talking about the darkness and the light and the lightless realm and all that stuff, and then making reference to the Starry Night. But she is kind of like, when it comes to actual battle and when they actually show her face, she kind of looks timid. But when she was writing all that shit down, she sounds like very, very evil-like. So it kind of confused me as well. And there's also another girl named Imaru, who I was annoyed with in the first episode already. I'm already annoyed with her because she seems like she's one of them stalkery type of chick. She's just real obsessed with Akashi like right now in the first episode, you know. And she's like, she knows his name, and she just shows up and she's just like, hey, teach me all sorts of things and blah blah blah. And then she takes the locket out of his pocket that he found when that admonition appeared in front of him, and she wears it, and she's like, oh, I wonder what people are going to say. So she annoyed me already because it seems like she's a fucking moron. Like, she shouldn't be a pilot. But apparently they tested all of these kids' abilities towards these vests that they just invented, and they are the best candidates. So apparently she isn't as dumb as she's putting on, or at least her infatuation with this one character is severely clouding any type of rational judgment she might have. But so far, from what I've seen, Akashi seems to be the second best pilot, because that girl Rika seems like she might have been the best. Right now it seems like Akashi is second, but because of the anger and shit that he's feeling, he might one day be the best at this. You should check out the series, man. I don't want to kind of go into that much detail about it. I kind of gave you a rundown of the main characters. Again, there was one other character who appeared later on, and you know, I think he was one of the candidates who was supposed to be in that class, and he makes a reference to the admonition or whatever. But other than that, though, I'm not going to really include him yet because I don't know much about this guy. But this series is weird. If you're just into something that's weird and it's going to kind of throw you off for a bit, you can get into this, because it was weird to me. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And I watched it again. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch twice? You know, it was just a weird series. So if you're into weird shit, you can get into this. It's only one episode, so you know there's that. It's not like you have to catch up. It's only one episode, so you can get into that, man. And yeah, this is it for this video, man. I am Basher Stampede signing out. Again, the name of the series is called M3 Sono Kuroki Hagane. Basher Stampede signing out. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Ask me anything you want to. I'm about to upload that breakfast hour video where I answered I think 4 questions from someone. So there's that.